Good day, good morning, good evening, aloha, and welcome. I'm Storytime. A lot of you may know me. The ones in particular that I am sending this video to specifically know me from our time together serving in the United States Marine Corps. If you have gotten this message and you don't directly know me, hopefully it will have been through a military buddy of yours that knows me. And if not, then that's wonderful too, because that means that this message has gone out to more and more. And hopefully it'll be something that will come across and ring true to someone who needs help. This is I'm gonna admit, this is absolutely terrifying. This is my first video. I got Phoenix down here helping me out because I don't want to look like a fool. I know that that's often a lot of people's problem, why they don't do something. They don't have the courage, dig down deep in order to do something that they love and share with those that are around them. Because you can still have fear and be courageous, but that courage is the ability to continue forward even though you may be scared, because being scared is like having a superpower. Your adrenaline rushes, your heart beats faster, your mind thinks quicker, but if you can control that, it's not so much controlling the hurricane or riding the wave. It's more that latter bit, is understanding yourself, that mind, body, spirit approach, that mental, physical, character approach. Understanding, a bit more of who you are and what you're doing, and using your strength and then knowing your weaknesses, and just riding that wave of chaos that is life. Don't look back, because that's not the way you're going. Just forward. Always up, always forward. So the actual message for this video that I want to share with my Marines, active duty, retired, just plain tired, or veterans like myself. It was something just a few days ago. We're now at the 19th of November, 2021, and it was a few days ago. I was just mindlessly scrolling through Facebook. I don't spend much time on it because I don't like to get sucked into all that. The negativity. I've course corrected a lot of the stuff, brought in things that I actively want to see, but even then I'll find myself just mindlessly scrolling, and I came across this picture that it said, when I stopped initiating the calls or the texts, my phone stopped ringing, and it struck a chord with me. I for a few years after getting out, I moved across the U.S., and then I moved across the world and experienced several different countries. I'm currently living in Waikiki, Western Australia. It's been wonderful. Everything that's really affected the world hasn't come to as dire ahead here. And so life has been somewhat organic and somewhat, normal. Not so much banal. It's had its own issues for myself, for my mental health, for my emotional health, and my spiritual development, that character growth. And so it struck a chord because, like, I speak often. So I work retail, and so I speak often with a lot of the military here that come in, mostly sailors, because of, being a coastal town, but there's often many Aussie Army that come in. I've got some retired SAS that are here. There's a real big reserve or expatriate community that lives here, from all these different countries. South Africa, I got this guy, this snake guy, I won't say his name, but he's South African. And it's just seeing these different modalities and ideologies and how it's come ahead for each and every one of their lives and what's brought them here to Western Australia in their own life and why. And so that, what I speak with them about is a few years back when I was graced with the ability to travel the U.S. and even go to 2 foreign countries and see some of you who are hopefully seeing this, some of my buddies that I made while serving the veterans roll call, the devil dog roll call is what I called it. And I would travel. I was driving the Gypsy Pig at the time, but I would travel thousands of miles in a day or overnight or whatever to be in another city or another state just to spend one night, and look my Marines in the eye and say, are you okay? Are you thinking about committing suicide? Are you thinking about hurting yourself or hurting others? Do you need help? And, since then I've lost a couple. It's been hard, but we keep on, never leave a Marine behind. We keep them here, but we fight for those that are still here. We fight. Apologies. We fight in our own way to help those around us. It's the Marine to our left and to our right. And, we bring them home. Or we do our goddess blessed. And since becoming a spent shell, as I've said before, at the time I was so ready to get out. I was ready to get out. And I knew that I would miss the camaraderie. I knew that I would miss my Marines, and sailors too. I met a lot of cool sailors. Fucking a couple of one Delta Force guy that was actually pretty cool, and a couple pararescue jumpers. Go Coasties. I've met a couple Coasties, but once you get out, the military doesn't fucking care about you. It's us. It's us that has been changed forever, that still has to continue that on. And even though we may shed a lot of that, that box mentality, it's grow where you're planted. This is now the container, forever changed, and you're still there, but then you've since grown and you've since, become who you are today. A part of my journey for knowledge, seeking myself, seeking why am I so fucked up? I know that a lot of it is my own natural, me, why I was born this way, why. But a lot of it was, the training. It does break you, but you gotta break a few mirrors in order to make a disco ball. Life is gonna break you, but in the military, in the Marines, it's broken in a certain way, and that's fine. Each person reacts different, but it's the same but different. And through my journey since then, going through, different herbal medicines, plant medicine, my journey with drugs and alcohol, I've now come to where I'm at now. It's been a wonderful ride. A lot of it has seemed boring, but I think that those are, those low times that you're meant to bring your energy back in and, harness back in turn that light back inwards and see where those cracks are, where new cracks have formed, but at those times I'm always reminded of the Japanese culture. My first duty station was Okinawa, Japan, and I learned about kitsurugi, where if pottery is broken, they fix it with gold or silver powder and reform it, reshape it, because the part of the beauty is the cracks. The pottery's still there, but then you have this fucking awesome gold or silver or whatever accent that's a part of it, and that's part of the story. And so, you're out there and you're shining the light and you're looking for those that are lost in their own right, or who you feel that you could help, whether it's looking at them as a reflection of you. And so as you gaze around, the points of contention or the trigger points or the ecstatic points, good and bad, you look around and you see these reflections and you know where to turn, because that it wouldn't affect you that way unless, you turn the light inward and you're looking and you're like, oh yeah, fuck, I do that, or whatever. And so through my journey, I have come across tarot, Vedic astrology, HumanDesign. Look into that. That whole mind-boggling. The I Ching, De Tao, all these different self-help books. Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction, 33 Strategies of War, The 50th Law, Mastery. Absolutely phenomenal, mind-altering changes that, you can be like, oh, I get it. I see myself in black and white, because also being a nerd, throwing out there to, my Dungeons and Dragons crew, being an author, I started with D&D, and I drew up a character sheet. Because, you don't want to write about a banal character. You want to write about a fucking legendary, all right? But how does he get there? How does she get there? Is it the journey? Is it once they're already there, then the real shit begins? How does it work out? And so I love that character creation. And then this one time on a mushroom trip, that was brought up. And I could see myself and everyone else being we're a playable character. If you want to bring in quantum physics and mechanics and stuff, and think of the multiverse, the bubble verse, the hologram, it's a matrix, it's a computer simulation, all these different thought processes and modalities, ideologies all brought together, and be like, what if, play the game. Judge yourself. We have our flaws, we have bonds, we have ideals, ticks, quirks. Understand yourself, because it's not about, oh, I'm in a box. Every one of us is a fucking snowflake, okay? Every one of us, because snowflakes are beautiful. They're all individual. Every one of them is unique, but it takes a whole shit ton of us in order to make a fucking blizzard. You know what I'm saying? So it's about understanding and embracing that individuality within the community. All right, snowflake, fucking, we love you. Get back in line. Do the thing. And doing the thing is making your heart sing. And love is the law. Do unto others, before they do unto you. All these different, don't take no shit. Do no harm, take no shit. All these different ideologies will only work if we talk about it, and so, and it's not just talking and debating or whatever. It's fully communicating and resonating and understanding and sitting and being like, what? I may not agree with it, but I'm here to understand because I love you, and I love each and every one of you. And I'll say it again, fuck, I love you. I hope that this reaches somebody who really fucking needs it, because here we are 15 minutes if you finally made it to the end, this is my bit. So I've made a new email address, militant2mystic@gmail.com. I'm sharpening my skills in tarot. I've been doing it for several years now, and I use this one specific deck called Patch Tarot because I am in the midst of becoming its first official reader. And so using this for, all of my crowd, but I'm using militant2mystic@gmail.com as a way to reach out to my friends and my mates and their mates, like this is for any military, any veteran, like fuck, I'll even extend it to, like the spouses and parents or whatever. If someone is trying to understand something about a military member, to understand them more, to get help, to, whatever it may be, formulate your question. It can be as simple as a one-word holophrase. You could give me a whole fucking blurb, like you tell me your life story, all this other stuff, and I'll weed through it. I'll put it up against, a certain set of templates that I have. So, because I don't just do past, present, future. I can if you want. But I usually do 3-card spreads because I can keep those anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. And, it may not be coming and sitting with someone physically and being there, but I can at least take the time out of my day, do my ritual, shuffle the cards, lay out a 3-card spread, possibly talk about the undercard, which is the shadow, and even throw in a significator card. I'll get into that in the specifics when and if I do a recording for you. But just send me an email. And even if it's, hey fucker, what's up? How's life? Just to catch up. This is my way of putting it out there that I can throw the stone and make those ripples and send out waves. Because if none of you that directly know me want to reach out and be extremely vulnerable back and say, hey, I've got a mental health issue, I've got marital issues, I don't like my kids, I fucking beat my dog still because my anger issues, whatever your hypothetical situation, I'll sit with you in love and gratitude for reaching out, and we'll talk about it. We'll see what the cards have to say. If you don't want to come at it in a spiritual stance, in an emotional stance, think about the absolute absurdity of statistical analysis that you would have to do in order, because a normal deck of tarot cards is 78 cards. The one that I'm using has 82 cards. This one is a new specific bit, and if you care to understand more about that, I can do that in a later recording. I'm going to wrap this up before 20 minutes. But 82 is 164, because you got to think about each individual card, and then if it shows up in a reversal. So there's 164 different cards, that can go in number 1, and then number 2, number 3, if there's a significator, and then we talk about, the shadow card. If you deal with just all those 5, there's a mathematical approach to figure out, how many different possibilities, but it's going to be nuts. And so just look at it as, it showed up like this because, and if you take it with a grain of salt, if you don't truly believe, look at it, be like, cool, at least I caught up with story time, caught up with Scott. But if you do believe, I hope this helps. I love you, devil dogs, sailors, army, every country, veteran, retired, aloha, blessed be. Fucking got this in under 20 minutes. militant2 mystic@gmail.com. Take care, guys and gals. Be well.